to keep your feet in the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Well, radio personality Kasem was best known as the host of American Top 40. For 39 years, his warm and friendly voice delivered countdowns to the nation, all the hit songs. But Kasem's final years were not peaceful, suffering from dementia and other health-related problems, plus an extended battle between his wife and his children over his care. But with a career spanning 60 years, Kasem will be remembered as one of the legendary voices of American radio. So here with more perspective on his legacy is Bonnie Fuller, editor-in-chief of HollywoodLife.com, and attorney Dan Hochheiser. Nice to have you guys here.
Thank you.
So first of all, before we get into the legalities of what happened with the family and everything like that, Bonnie, let's talk to you. You know, he's influenced so many people that are currently, you know, on the radio and on TV right now. We're talking about Ryan Seacrest, Carson Daly. What do you think about everything and how everything transpired? His life, his legacy?
He had an amazing life, and he was a leader. He was an icon. He created the idea of the Top 40 show, the radio show. He was the first to pull it all together.
Well, this was before the internet. This was before your cell phone, tweets, all these things. I mean, people listened to radio very intently, and radio DJs were a part of your life. I mean, we're talking about all the letters, and it was just sort of it was part of our life, right?
It was, and especially young people.
Yeah,
young
I was one of them.
Wanted to know what was the top song of the week.
Yeah.
What were the other top songs? Like, there were no charts. You couldn't get them.
Yeah.
So you had to listen to his radio show in order to find out what songs you love that had reached the top and what the rest of America
And we're
thought.
talking about the letters that, you know, connected people and that made you cry, and it, you know, like you were just like, oh, the special request, who this special request goes out to. I mean, we all remember it.
Right,
I mean,
he had the long distance
requests. I mean, you know, and that velvety voice. I mean, I know you, even though we're going to talk about the legal aspect, you had to have memories of that as well.
Well, he had a very soothing voice, and he was sort of a voice of God type.
Yeah, over the radio.
Right?
Totally does make sense.
Which you remember from the early days as background, you know, background noise to whatever you were doing at the time.
It was a
before the
soundtrack
song
of your
came
life.
on.
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
And then the biggest musicians of the day and rock stars wanted to go on his show.
Yeah.
They all loved him because he helped to make their hits, and also because he was such a warm and welcoming interviewer. They didn't have to worry that he was going to give them a tough time.
Yeah, not like what we're doing now. You know, it's all the shock jocks and everything like that. But that was before shock jocks and everything like that. Now let's talk about Casey's family, because at the end of his life, it was just really just a tug of war as to what's going on. So what are we going to see play out, Dan?
Well, you had this 2007 health directive where he gave his oldest daughters the power to make medical decisions for him. And that became muddled with a couple of court orders back and forth. Yes, you can take them off the machines. No, you can't.
Yeah.
And finally, obviously, he
passed away.
Yeah. But now you'll have a battle over his $80 million estate, where the second wife will be pitted against
Jean
the
Kasem
children.
will be pitted against the 3 kids from his first marriage. It's kind of unfortunate that everything is sort of playing out the way it is, because nobody knew so much about Casey's family, his children, in those terms, right? And now they've been so vocal over the last couple of years about their father, their health, that he's missing. Where did Gene take him? We haven't been able to see him for years.
Well, this is a long-standing battle that they've had. They've never had a good relationship, the 3 children from his first marriage, with their stepmother. And in fact, they've spoken out and said that they realized early on, and they were pretty little when his father married her, they realized that they were never going to have a relationship with her. So these problems have been simmering for years, and they have felt excluded from his life. Even though they had a warm relationship, they felt she was always trying to exclude them.
All right. Do you feel like he's going to be remembered? What is his body of work that you think he's going to be remembered for?
The top, well, 2 things. The America's Top 40, that radio show, which is being carried on by Ryan Seacrest, who loved him, and also his voice as Shaggy. He voiced Shaggy in Scooby-Doo for, you know, on TV, in films. And he did it so well.
I know, and he was also the voice of NBC for a lot you know, a lot of the 80s and things like that. There's so many things to the legacy of that man who contributed so much to not only us but our childhood and everything that was that we watch and love and hold dear. Thank you so much for coming in. I really do appreciate your perspective. Time right now is 7:41. Coming up, outrage after a family was asked to leave KFC. Well, the restaurant told his mother, if you look at this daughter's face, Well, they're saying that their customers were upset over that little pretty face. What's going on? We'll have that story at 8 o'clock. Then tricks to whiten your teeth, secrets to a bite whiter and brighter smile. Apparently they're right in your kitchen. That's at 8:15, and Andy is working on some entertainment news as well.
That's right, Suki. Okay, we got Justin Bieber in trouble again and